Okay, Republik and Kremlin versus Montana and Republik. Des Moines on both sides, Zals on both sides. Moskva and Smolensk, 3 destroyers from FLAN. Unusual build, but not unprecedented. They've taken a Kleber. That will be interesting. Gearing and Summers on the 1701 side. Two Stalingrads and Des Moines for radars. Zal for general purpose fire starting. Interesting that Henri seems to have gone out of favour again. Why? I don't know why that is not working. Right, let's see what the teams go for. So, of course, one perk of a 3DD approach is that FLAN can theoretically break to all 3 cap points at once. And Maragmus, taking advantage, I think, of the Kleber's speed, is going, yep, there's the engine boost. He has stood on the gas, warp drive engaged, gone to plaid, etc., pick your meme, and is braking fast for point C. Meanwhile, the daring of Danakul, the slowest of the 3, taking the straight line to B, and Lamish taking the run down to point A as before. Looks like their heavy support is mostly running north. Meanwhile, over on 1701 side, Steel Duck is going for point A, and the gearing of Warwick Chieftain going for point C. So we're seeing a general refusal of point B. Now, this could get interesting because FLAN will be able to grab a immediate advantage with the 3 destroyers. How much they'll be able to get and whether or not they will be able to hang on to it once the heavier forces of 1701 come into play remains to be seen. Now, that may be why they're keeping their ships relatively massed up. We're seeing the Smolensk, the Montana, and the Des Moines all pushing north towards point C, supporting Maragmus and the Kleber. We're seeing the Republik of Ryokan swinging southwest along with the Moskva. Early cap of point B from Damakul as expected. Even though Daring doesn't get an engine boost, he didn't have that far to go in order to get into point B, and he's just making the turn there. First rule of destroy play at this level, always have your escape holes dug and ready. So he is now positioned that if there is trouble, he can just hold down the W key, run behind that iron, and he will immediately break contact with whatever is spotting him, provided, of course, there isn't a radar set involved. Maragmus there running into point C, 55 knots courtesy of the Kleber, beating Warwick Chieftain quite happily. He did drop some torpedoes just for suppression. Warwick's well clear of them, but it might persuade Flame Emperor to stand on the brakes a little. Of course, with the cap in progress, Warwick now knows there's an adversary in there. He has a massive spotting advantage under Maragmus, but because of the timing, he doesn't necessarily know that it's Maragmus in there. He might have assumed that the Kleber went for B instead. Meanwhile, down at point A, the Lamish and Steel Duck are colliding, and Steel Duck goes into the cap, so that locks point A. Point C goes to the red team of FLAN. Okay, a radar sweep out just catches Lamish, and there we go. Shots fired from Yaman Steel. Torpedoes are in the water in return already. Lamish takes some early hits, resets the cap, and forces him out as he breaks away from the radar set. So, Steel Duck starts the first cap for 1701. Meanwhile, up at the north, Maragmus has had to use the speed to break away from Warwick Chieftain, and Warwick can also begin flipping point C as well. Torpedoes are in the water, however, but Warwick easily evades those and continues his cap at 50%. Oh, Maragmus not having the same luck, and the very small light cruiser that is the Kleber eats a torpedo midships, loses 40% of his health, and is now going to have to play a lot more conservatively. Point A flips over to 1701. Lamish there forcing back, but he is trading shots. Steel Duck has been spotted. Rounds are coming down. Steel Duck losing a good 7,000 health there, being forced to break away in his turn. However, nobody really in a position to capitalize over on FLAN. Their heavy support ship is currently Bowen, which is the good news. The bad news is the sheer amount of high explosive he's eating because, yep, there's a Smolensk behind that island. Legend MD making it rain, exploding vodka bottles onto Chart War. There's another fire. Now, we didn't see the initial action, of course, so I would think that if Chart had a Damcon ready to go, he would be using it. So, yeah, not looking good for him there. He's backing out, trying to get away from the incessant rain of high explosive. The Smolensk just volleying shell after shell into his deck, but it's all chipping away. Of course, Legend MD really wants that second fire. Don't think he's going to get it, and Chart is about to get the cliff between him and the Smolensk, but he's lost 2/3 of a supercruiser for basically a third of a destroyer at best. Okay, Shimakaze of Lamish manages to wriggle himself back into A, get a quarter cap done. We have a radar pulse from Yaman Steel, however. Stalingrad was waiting for that cap to start flipping. Lamish immediately starts eating armor piercing, and high explosive coming in from Steel Duck as well. The 5-inch finding some shells. Oh, even the Republic's getting in on the action, but Battleship high explosive and dispersion saves Lamish from anything more than token damage there. I say writes another salvo of Stalinium, whizzes in, and proceeds to knock off another few thousand health. Torpedoes are in the water, however. Yaman is currently not moving, and he's burning, so I think he might be able to torpedo beat this at 0 knots, but I don't know. One of those is looking dodgy. Radar up from Chat War, and we're seeing reverse speed from Yaman. Yeah, Yaman is going to do a low speed torpedo beat. Oh, no, he isn't. Wow. One of those torpedoes just kissed the side and exploded on the belt. And we saw an immediate Damcon, so there is no flooding to be had there. Meanwhile, over at Point C, it's gotten messy already. Torpedoes are in the water. Warwick Chieftain and Danakul having a rapid and frank exchange of views there. Danakul, well, I wouldn't say either of them came off particularly well from that engagement. They're both down to less than half health. The Kleber of Maragmus still taking hits. Of course, Warwick is going to spot him without any great difficulty because of the sheer size of the Kleber. And Yodachi Poi Poi is, let's see, 15,000 health Des Moines versus a 43,000 health and Des Moines and a 40,000 health Zhao. Well, he might be able to play something with the bow guns there if he can get them over the top. Point B flips over to Flan, and the shells continue to whiz round. Danakul there. Point is locked, so Flan are technically ahead, 2 points to 1. Point B still largely uncontested. Point A pretty much in a stalemate at the moment. Ryokan does not really want to try to push until he's got Jean Lacreux backing him up. But in the meantime, Chatwer is just, well, there's nothing else he can really do but sit there and take it as Legend MD basically goes at him with a set of varying grades of abrasive and incendiary sandpaper, just trying to wriggle that Moskva off the blocking point so the Summers of Steel Duck can get in. Meanwhile, the action is still hot on at Point C. Danakul, oof, that was a close one. Danakul doing what he can, dropping smoke. Unfortunately, Magnus did not have the stopping distance to stay in it, and consequently, both ships are being forced out. I suspect Destrux has popped his radar to get that result. Both ships also engaged with gunneries, so interesting. They're basically abandoning Point C at this point, but I don't think Danakul is going to be able to do the breakaway. No, he isn't. 8-inch auto-firing kicks in. He's down to 1,000 health. He has muzzled his guns, but don't know if he did it fast enough. He did not do it fast enough. Flame Emperor catches him on the flank, and the exploding rounds go in. All right. Cassidy has broken away to the north of Point C, probably not inclined to deal with the Des Moines of Yodachi Poi Poi by smashing his head against the door until it falls in. The Strux, however, has come off the worst in that particular duel, mostly because it's not a duel. He is getting broadsided by the Montana of Stricker. Rounds coming over again. I don't think that's going to hit. Nope, comes short that time, but Destruct is basically pinned at this juncture. Warwick stump torpedoes towards Stricker, but we'll see. None of those look like they're anywhere near close. So, stalemate to an extent at point C. Point B is just quietly ticking away. 8 minutes 51 until FLAN score out, but they're not that far ahead of 1701. Okay. Stricker 26 pushing in. Looks like he's trying to bully it in, but Graham 1701 has now arrived. Kremlin is here! And unfortunately, Kremlin's flanks are secured, courtesy of the Des Moines and the Zau, so he can focus on the Smolensk and the Montana. And let's face it, we all know which ship that he's going to try to delete first. In fact, splitting his fire. Our guns are engaging Happy Aaron in the Smolensk. He took an enterprising shot at Yadachi Poi Poi over there, but the terrain just shielded the Des Moines from some rapid Stalinium to the Citadel. And Cassidy now trying his luck in a 6-6 duel against Des Moines. He'll probably win, but that's going to hurt because Des Moines, of course, gets auto-loading guns, and the Zau cannot bring its torpedoes to play. On the other hand, he has, well, 13,000 health to Yodachi's 3,000, but you'd be surprised how fast that's going to melt, especially if a Montana jumps in and gets engaged. But it's too late to save Yodachi. Looks like the Nightmare of Solomon is toast. 217, 65, and gone. So, cruisers fought to more or less mutual annihilation there. Kessie, of course, is the first ship to go down for 1701. Danakul and Yodachi Poi Poi are both down on FLAN. So they are just the one ship down, but all three control points are now under 1701. The gearing of Warwick Chieftain taking a sneaky little cap into point B while everyone else was busy trading ammunition. So, Flame Emperor bow on, Kremlin bow on. It looks like the ritual headbutting contest has commenced between the Montana and the Kremlin. Ladies and gentlemen, Cold War, World of Warship style. Both ships bow on, both ships doing what they can to knock the other down. Of course, the Kremlin does have to contend with the backsliding bourgeois that is Happy Aaron, and Happy Aaron is quite content to ensure that Graham has plenty of fire with which to survive those cold Baltic winters. Okay, survive might be completely the wrong term here, but you know what I mean. So, shells coming down, Graham there either controlling the fires or running them out. Not that that's really going to stop Happy Aaron for very long. I mean, when you've got 1,630mm guns spamming away, not on fire is very much a temporary condition. And he's looking for that second fire now. Warwick Chieftain doing what he can, intervening, trying to get a smoke screen between Graham and the Smolensk. That will work as long as Graham doesn't fire his main battery. And as long as Maragmus cannot just see around the side of the smoke. There's the intervening. So, main battery fire. That is going to blow the smoke screen. Stricker 26 was close enough that I think he will have picked up the muzzle blast from the Kremlin. And, well, if that smoke screen was going to provide some cover, there we go. Right, so a win for Team Alpha. Right, 1701 taking the win there, just running the scoreboard out.